its new district office. It features a public service center, 동네 hall, a 300-seat community facility, and art displays in the lobby and multi-purpose hall. A smart control center for resident safety and disaster response will start operations next month on the 7th floor annex. The project, which began in August 2020, took 4 years due to excavation work prompted by the discovery of the 동네 읍성 fortress ruins. Busan City has been recognized as an excellent institution in the 2024 Outdoor Advertising Evaluation by the Ministry of the Interior and Safety, receiving the Prime Minister's Award. The city was commended for reducing illegal advertisements and maintaining clean streets through enhanced management and collaboration with its 16 districts and counties via an integrated advertising platform. Since 2002, Busan has hosted the annual Sign Expo Busan, fostering innovative sign design and promoting a creative, visually appealing advertising culture. Time for international news. On December 29th local time, President Joe Biden announced that January 9th would be designated as a national day of mourning to honor the late former President Jimmy Carter. He encouraged Americans to gather at their places of worship to pay tribute to the late former president on that day. Additionally, President Biden ordered flags to be flown at half-staff at the White House, all public buildings, military bases, and ships for 30 days. United States embassies, consulates, and military facilities abroad will also lower their flags during this period. Time now for the weather. A dry weather advisory continues for the Busan region. Currently, it is 11 degrees Celsius and clear. The temperature will average around 10 degrees this evening. That's all we have time for this hour's news. Thanks for listening. You're listening to BEFM, 부산영어방송.
Your best choice. BEFM, Busan 영어방송.
Coming up next is For Your Busan, BEFM, 부산 영어방송.
1, 2, 3, 4.
As we all know, we heard news of a very tragic plane crash yesterday. Many people at this time are mourning this tragedy together and sending words of comfort. No words can truly provide enough comfort for this tragedy, but we hope that everyone come together at this difficult time and find the strength to overcome this crisis together. Hey there, I'm Yurian. Welcome to For Your Busan. This is Supermarket Flower by Ed Sheeran.
Flash from the windowsill. Through the day, old tea from the cup. Packed up the photo album Matthew had made. Memories of a life that's been loved. Took the get well soon cars and stuffed animals. Poured the old ginger beer down the sink. Dad always told me, don't you cry when you're down. But Mum, there's a tear every time that I blink. Oh, I'm in pieces, it's tearing me up. But I know a heart that's broke is a heart that's been loved. So I'll sing hallelujah. You were an angel in the shape of my mom. When I fell down, you'd be there holding me up. Spread your wings as you go. When God takes you back, he'll say hallelujah, you're home. I fluffed the pillows, made the bed, stacked the chairs up, folded your nightgowns neatly in a case. John said he'd drive, then put his hand on my cheek and wiped a tear from the side of my face. And I hope that I see the world as you did, 'cause I know a life with love is a life that's been lived. So I'll sing hallelujah. You were an angel in the shape of my mom. When I fell down, you'd be there holding me up. Spread your wings as you go. And when God takes you back, he'll say hallelujah, you're home. Hallelujah. You were an angel in the shape of my mom. You got to see the person I have become. Spread your wings and I know that when God took you back, he said hallelujah, you're home.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to For Your Busan. Many people must have been shocked by the news of yesterday's plane crash. It is a tragedy and a pain that should never be repeated. We send our condolences to those who have lost their loved ones and hope that many will come together to help overcome this tragic time. If you send your messages of comfort through today's show, it might give them a little bit of comfort. Today, I'd like to start with a word that's hard to translate into English. Sometimes there are words that sound like English, but aren't really English. So how about this one? 히트 상품. So how can we call that in English? Popular products, hot selling products, or how about hot picks? So are you someone who keeps up with trends? When you shop, do you have your own set criteria, or do you usually go for what's the most popular and best-selling? I am a very trend-sensitive person. I always kind of go for the most popular, best-selling item, and I also fall guilty of doing this, which is if the salesperson tells me whatever I'm trying to buy is the last remaining item, I end up buying without thinking twice. You know, I know it's not a really good idea, but I just can't help it. Honestly, though, when you're unsure what to buy or you're stuck choosing between options, going for a popular product is often a safe bet. After all, if so many people have chosen it, there's probably a good reason, and it's likely to be a hit for a reason. Did you know that Busan has its own hot picks? The Busan Development Institute has analyzed keywords from various newspapers, held expert meetings, and also conducted surveys to select the top 10 hot picks of Busan from January to November this year. So let's take a look at some of them. The top 10 most popular hot picks of Busan included the night tourism specialized city, art team museum, and it also included the KTX Donghae East coastline as well. So these unique features showcase what makes Busan special, earning them the title of Busan's hot picks. So among these, many can be experienced or even visited in person. If you have not explored some of these yet, why not seize the opportunity before winter ends? All right, so every day you have the chance to decide the topic of the day. So please let us know what topic you'd like to discuss during the show. So today's topic will be decided by you. 자, 오늘도 For Your 부산의 토픽은 여러분이 하고 싶은 이야기로 정해집니다. 여러분이 오늘 이야기하고 싶은 주제, 토픽은 무엇인가요? 그 어떤 것이든지 여러분이 이야기하고 싶은 토픽을 골라서 보내주시면 됩니다. So how to join in on the conversation? Both Korean and English are welcome. You can send a text to sharp 9050. It costs 100 won. You can also add us on Kakao Talk or message us through the BEFM application. Or you can jump into the live chat on our Busan English Broadcasting channel or our YouTube live stream. So in the first half of today's show, we have Busan Is, where Hong Dang brings us all the reasons that make Busan such a fantastic place. We'll bring you the latest updates and insights in the Busan News Information Corner. After that, we have YJ, short for Yurian's Journal. And we can discover what caught my eye today. It is a chance to share innovative and creative sparks with you, igniting inspiration and curiosity. And then we have Busan Hot Places. This is a segment where we take you on a journey through Busan, showcasing the city's most exciting events, must-see attractions, and also vibrant activities. Our reporter Jimmy will bring these experiences directly to you, highlighting what makes Busan the place to be. On the second half of our show today, we have On the Mic, where we listen to stories of Busan locals encountered on the streets of Busan. And after that, Busan's Tale, which is a storytelling segment delving into various aspects of Busan. 오늘도 문자, 카카오톡 그리고 너튜브 라이브 댓글로 참여해 주신 분들께 선물이 기다립니다. 저와 함께 2시간 끝까지 같이 해주시길 바랍니다. You can be the prize winner of the day, so please participate in the show through text message, KakaoTalk, and also live chat on our YouTube channel.
Stay connected to Busan's rhythm with For Your Busan, airing daily from 4:05 to 6 p.m. Blending your friends' voices with the latest information and news from our vibrant city.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We've got the EFM's announcer Hong Dang-님 with us today ready to fill us in on everything Busan Is. So can you first start us off with our first story of the day?
네, 안녕하세요, 리안 씨.
안녕하세요.
네, 전남 무안국제공항에서 발생한 제주항공 여객기 참사 이틀째인 오늘입니다. 온 국민이 슬픔에 잠겨 있습니다. 1월 4일까지 국가 애도기간이 선포되면서 안타까운 사고로 숨진 179명의 고인들의 넋을 위로하게 되는데요. 이 무안공항 활주로 현장에서는 현재 유류품 수습도 병행되고 있고 국토부 등의 사고 원인 조사를 위해서 현장은 당분간 보존된다고 밝혔습니다. 희생자를 추모하기 위한 분향소가 전국 17개 시도마다 최소 한 곳 이상 설치돼서 오늘부터 운영에 들어갑니다. 태국 방콕에서 출발해 무안공항으로 향하던 제주항공이 어제 오전 9시 3분쯤 비행기 바퀴 랜딩 기어가 펼쳐지지 않은 상태에서 무안공항 활주로에 착륙을 시도하다가 공항 시설물과 충돌했는데 이 사고로 승객 175명, 전원과 조종사, 객실 승무원 각 2명 등 179명이 현장에서 목숨을 잃었습니다.
Today is the second day of the Jeju Air passenger plane crash at Muan International Airport in Jeollanam-do, and the entire nation has entered a mourning period. National mourning period has been declared until January 4th to console the souls of the 179 people who passed away in the unfortunate accident. A recovery of remains is also being carried out at the Muan Airport runway, and the site will be preserved for the time being convening for the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure and Transport and other agencies to investigate the cause of the accident. Now, incense burners to commemorate the victims will be set up in each of the 17 cities and provinces nationwide and will begin operating today. Jeju Air Flight 7C2216, which departed from Bangkok, Thailand, and was headed to Muan Airport. It had attempted to land on the Muan Airport runway at 9:03 a.m. Yesterday with its landing gear not deployed. It had collided with airport facilities and most of the aircraft was engulfed in flames. A total of 179 people, including all 175 passengers and 2 pilots and cabin crew members, lost their lives at the scene.
네. 부산시도 제주항공 여객기 추락 사고로 숨진 희생자들을 애도하기 위해서 시청 1층에 합동 분향소를 설치했습니다. 박형준 시장을 비롯한 공무원들이 조문했고 또 시민들도 오늘 오후부터 조문이 가능합니다. 부산시는 일반 시민이 합동 분향소를 찾아 조문할 수 있는 시간을 따로 공지하겠다고 밝혔고요. 부산시는 또 항공기 추락 사고로 정부가 내년 1월 4일까지 국가 애도 기간으로 선포함에 따라서 내일 밤부터 새해 첫날 1월 1일 새벽 용두산공원에서 진행할 예정이었던 시민애종 타종 행사 취소했습니다.
The city of Busan announced on the 30th that it will set up a joint memorial altar on the first floor of City Hall to mourn the victims of the Jeju Air plane crash. Once the memorial altar is set up, Mayor Park Hyung-jun and other officials will pay their respects, and citizens will be able to visit the altar starting in the afternoon. The city will separately announce the specific times for the general public to visit the memorial altar. And in addition, due to the government declaring a national mourning period until January 4th next year for the plane crash, the city has canceled the citizens' bell ringing ceremony that was scheduled to take place at Yongdusan Park in Busan from the night of the 31st until the early morning of January 1st.
네, 동래구 신청사 업무가 오늘부터 시작됐습니다. 신청사는 2개 동으로 지하 4층, 지상 9층 규모로 민원실을 비롯해서 300석 규모의 주민 편의시설인 동래홀을 갖추고 있고요. 공모를 통해서 선정된 미술 작품을 청사 다목적 홀, 로비 등에 설치했습니다. 또 주민 안전과 신속한 재난 대응을 위해서 마련된 스마트 관제센터는 다음 달 15일부터 신청사 별관으로 이전해서 운영될 예정입니다. 동래구 신청사 건립은 2020년 8월부터 시작됐습니다. 그런데 공사 중에 동래 읍성 유적이 발견되면서 발굴 작업을 하느라 4년 만에 완공됐습니다. 또 발견된 유물 전시를 위해서 본관 지하 1층에 유적 전시관까지 조성됐습니다.
On the 30th, Dongnae District in Busan announced that it has started operations at its new district office. The new office building consists of 2 blocks with a total size of 4 basement floors and 9 above-ground floors. It includes a civil service center and a community facility, Dongnae Hall, with a seating capacity of 300. Additionally, art pieces selected through a public competition are displayed in the multi-purpose hall and lobby areas of the building. However, the Smart Control Center, designed for resident safety and rapid disaster response, will be relocated to the annex on the 7th floor and begin operations on the 15th of next month. To display historical artifacts discovered during construction, an archaeological exhibition hall has been set up on the basement floor of the main building.
네. 부산시가 지난 27일 오전 시청 로비에서 청렴 실천을 다짐하는 출근길 청렴 캠페인을 실시했습니다. 신임시 감사위원장과 MG 직원 청렴 동아리 청렴 갈매기가 함께 참여해서 청렴 실천을 다지고 소통하면서 이 청렴한 조직 문화 확산에 나서서 직원들로부터 많은 공감을 얻었는데요. 한편 부산시는 올해 국민권익위원회 종합청렴도 평가에서 2등급을 달성했고 특히 광역시도 가운데서는 유일하게 3년 연속 청렴 체감도 2등급, 청렴 노력도 2등급을 받는 성과를 이뤄내서 주목을 받기도 했습니다.
The city of Busan announced on the 27th that it held a morning commute transparency campaign in the lobby on the first floor of City Hall to reaffirm its commitment to transparency. The campaign featured participation from the newly appointed chairperson of the City Audit Committee and the MZ Generation Employees Transparency Club, the so-called Integrity Seagulls, fostering a shared commitment to transparency and promoting open communication. The event was well received by employees, helping to spread a culture of integrity within the organization. This year, Busan achieved a grade 2 rating in the comprehensive integrity evaluation conducted by the Anti-Corruption and Civil Rights Commission of Korea.
네, 국내 최초의 컨테이너선 전용 부두인 부산항 자성대 부두가 개장 46년 만인 올해 말 운영을 완전히 종료합니다. 부산항만공사는 자성대 부두 운영사인 한국 허치슨 터미널이 새로 옮겨가는 신규 터미널 신간만부두와 간만부두 1번 선석이 됩니다. 여기에서 원활하게 화물을 처리할 수 있도록 115억 원을 들여서 항만 근로자 사무 공간과 주차장 확충 등의 증축 사업을 벌인다고 밝혔습니다. 이 사업은 내년 1월 말까지 실시 설계를 마치고요. 2026년까지 완료할 계획입니다.
The operation of Chasongdae Pier, the first dedicated container terminal in South Korea located at Busan Port, will come to an end later this year, marking 46 years since its opening. The Busan Port Authority announced on the 29th that Hutchinson Korea Terminals, which is the operator of Chasongdae Pier, is moving to a new terminal, new Ganman Pier and the number 1 berth of Ganman Pier. To ensure smooth cargo handling at the new location, the Busan Port Authority is investing 11.5 billion Korean won to expand facilities, including office spaces for port workers and parking lots.
네, 해운대 해수욕장 백사장에 설치된 수억 원짜리 셀프 카메라 장비인 파노라마 해운대가 저조한 이용률 탓에 3년 만에 운영이 중단된다는 소식입니다. 2022년 10월 부산시 공모로 지원받은 예산 2억 1천만 원이 들여간 이 설치된 장비인데요. 관광객이 백사장에 지정된 포토존에 서서 이 해운대 관광시설사업소 옥상에 설치된 고해상도 카메라 2대에 휴대전화로 접속하면 셀프 사진과 10초짜리 숏폼 영상을 찍을 수 있는 장비입니다. 하지만 홍보가 덜 이루어진 데다가 카메라를 사용하려면 회원 가입을 해야 하고 로그인을 해야 하는 등 불편함이 있어서 이용률이 저조한 것으로 보입니다. 2022년 10월부터 12월까지 석 달 동안 이용률이 하루 평균 26회에 그쳤고 지난해에는 하루 평균 70회, 올해도 하루 평균 40회를 기록하는 데 그쳤습니다.
A self-camera machine installed with an investment of tens of millions of wons to promote tourism at Haeundae Beach, Busan, will be discontinued after 3 years due to low usage. The equipment was installed with a budget of 210 million won, supported by the city of Busan through a 2022 project grant. Tourists could stand at designated photo zones on the beach and connect their smartphones to 2 high-resolution cameras installed on the roof of the Haeundae Tourism Facility, allowing them to take selfies or a 10-second short-form videos. However, due to insufficient promotion and the inconvenience of requiring users to sign up and log in to use the camera, the usage rate was low. From October to December 2022, during the 3-month period, the usage rate was only 2,300 times, averaging 26 uses per day. Last year, the average use was 70 uses per day, and this year it has dropped to 40 uses per day.
네, 자 오늘 소식은 여기까지 전하고 내일은 좀 더 밝은 모습으로 좀 더 희망찬 내용 가득 안고 왔으면 좋겠습니다.
네, 저도 그렇게 바라보겠습니다.
네, 내일이 12월 31일이잖아요. 네, 오늘 2024년
마지막에.
네 마무리 잘 하게 되는 그런
네.
이틀 또 보내야죠. 희망이 내일 모레 있습니다.
네,
새해를 좀 더 희망차게 맞고 싶습니다.
맞습니다.
네,
감사합니다. 좋은 말씀. Alright, so I'll see you tomorrow.
네, 내일 뵙겠습니다. 고맙습니다.
Alright, that was 홍당당 for our Busan Is segment today, and for your Busan show, listeners, you guys can decide the topic of the day. So please, once again, let us know what topic you'd like to discuss, and we will explore it with our listeners. Today's topic will be decided by you. So today, what topic do you want to talk about for the next 2 hours? 자, 오늘은 For Your 부산의 토픽은 여러분이 정해주시면 됩니다. 여러분이 오늘 이야기하고 싶은 주제 토픽은 무엇인가요? 여러분이 이야기하고 싶은 토픽을 골라서 제안을 해주시면 됩니다. We are going to take a song break. This is Easy on Me by Adele.
I've been washing my hands in forever. I know there is hope in these waters, but I can't bring myself to swim when I am drowning in this silence. Baby, let me in. Go
Dear Diary, the weather has been freezing lately, and I'm someone who feels the cold very easily. Because of this, I try to avoid outdoor activities as much as possible during winter and prefer to stay indoors. Interestingly, it's not just the cold that's keeping people inside. Rising living costs have also led many to cut back on spending. As a result, more people are opting for at-home online activities during their free time instead of hanging out. This trend is reflected in recent data. According to a national leisure activity survey, the average monthly leisure time for Koreans has increased slightly, with people spending 3.7 hours on weekdays and 5.7 hours on weekends, compared to 3.6 and 5.5 hours respectively last year. What's surprising, though, is that the average monthly spending on leisure activities has decreased compared to last year. So people are spending a bit more time in leisure activities, but not necessarily spending more money to do so. Experts attribute this to a rise in non-face-to-face activities such as video streaming and online content creation, coupled with inflation-driven spending cutbacks. As a result, people are engaging less in cultural events, sports, and tourism, and instead focusing more on hobbies, entertainment, and rest. As for me, during my leisure time, my favorite thing to do is putting on my headset and heading to the gym because I just love having that time all to myself, listening to my favorite playlist and working out. It is like a self-healing me time. But what about everyone else? According to the survey, many people enjoy solo leisure activities just like me. The most common activities include watching TV, streamlining online videos, and listening to music, with over half of the respondents choosing solo leisure activities. In fact, more people are spending their free time alone rather than with family or friends. Sometimes being alone can fulfill psychological needs that are difficult to satisfy when surrounded by others, such as the need for freedom and independence. While it may seem counterintuitive given our inherently social nature, solitude has its perks. Studies suggest that those who regularly spend time alone often enjoy stronger, more meaningful relationships with others. A little me time can go a long way in helping us connect better with the people around us. It may look lonely, but me time is anything but isolating. This Lunar New Year holiday, why not try dedicating time just for yourself? It might be the most rewarding experience of all. This was DJ Yurian's Journal. And the topic of the day has been chosen. It is for you guys to send us some messages of comfort. 그래서 오늘 토픽이 정해졌는데요. 희생자들과 유족들을 위해 따뜻한 위로의 메시지를 보내주시면 되겠습니다. 요즘 많은 문자들이 들어왔는데요. 포님께서 비극적인 사고가 더 안 일어나길 바랍니다. 유가족분들도 힘내세요. 맞습니다. 앞으로는 이번 일이 정말 마지막이길 바라면서 앞으로도 이런 사고는 절대 일어나서도 안 되고 안 될 것 같습니다. 그리고 Drift Monkey님, while the entire situation is a terrible tragedy, I cannot help but think of how the survivors will go on from here. I do wish them well. Yes, there are the two survivors from the airplane crash, and the government did announce they are providing, consultation and therapy for all the survivors and also the family of the lost ones. But I really do hope the few survivors of this tragic incident get all the help that they need because, yes, it is a very traumatic experience for anyone to be going through. Also, do we have more messages coming in? So please send us more of these comforting messages so that we can just share, comfort each other at this really tough time as we try to get through this national tragic incident. All right, so we are going to take a song break now. This is People Help the People by Birdie.
God knows what is hiding in those weak and drunken hearts. Guess he kissed the girls and made them cry, those hard-faced queens of misadventure. God knows what is hiding in those weak and sunken lines, fiery thrown angels, giving love but getting nothing back. Oh, people, help the people. And if you're homesick, give me your hand and I'll hold it. People, help the people. Nothing will drag you down. Oh, and if I had to bring, oh, and if I had to bring, I'd be cold as a stone and rich as a fool. It turned all those good hearts away. God knows what is hiding in this world of little consequence. Behind the tears, inside the lies, 1,000 slowly dying sunsets. God knows what is hiding in those weak and drunken hearts. Guess the loneliness came knocking. No one needs to be alone. No singing. People, help the people. And if you're homesick, give me your hand and I'll hold it. People, help the people. Nothing will drag you down. Oh, and if I had to bring, oh, and if I had to bring, I'd be cold as a stone and rich as the fool. It turned all those good hearts away. I'd be cold as a stone and rich as a fool. That turned all those good hearts away.
Tune in to For Your Busan, featuring local news, events, and interviews with people in the community. Airing from 4:05 to 6 p.m.
Welcome back, everyone. And we have Jimmy Che joining us in the studio. It is the first time I'm saying hello to you.
Hello to you
Hi.
too, and to the listeners.
To the listeners. It would be on a very more positive note because it is our first time meeting each other, but it is
Right.
a very grim day and a very tragic time we are facing. So let's just go ahead and jump into what you have prepared for us today.
For sure. As for this time, I actually visited one of the popular cafe in Yeongdo area because they actually held a very, very festive event for the Christmas season. The name of the festival itself was 2024 Christmas Village Busan. And it was actually from the December 13th to 29th.
Oh, I see. So it was where was this venue event held place in?
Oh, it was actually
Somewhere
held,
in Yeongdo?
Yeah, one of the popular cafe in Yeongdo area, and this event actually aims to create a unique Christmas vibe and the atmosphere for people to come and visit and enjoy various activities such as like participate themselves in hands-on activities, making like cookies, and even they also invited like some of those indie bands to play a song,
I
like
see.
jazz songs and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I actually saw photos of the Christmas village in Yeongdo.
Oh, you have.
And they brought like haystacks.
Right.
And you said it was a cafe, but it didn't really look like a cafe when I looked at the photos. It looked like a very big
True.
like factory almost,
True.
right?
I think the space itself is like super spacious and humongous. So on one side, they actually run it as a restaurant and a cafe. And on the other
restaurant as
side,
well.
I guess they probably have had some kind of an empty space for them to come in and decorate. So
All right, I see. So it was like a space for a lot of different fun things to go on at the same time.
for sure.
So did you meet anybody there when you were there? While you were at the Christmas village?
Yeah, I actually got to meet various people, but then instead of playing the audio clips itself, I'll
Yes.
just explain who I have interviewed. So as for the first interview, I actually met elementary school students. They are sisters, and they were actually enjoying eating and just having some kind of a snacks and ice creams itself. So I kind of bump into them and ask, and they actually enjoyed the positive atmosphere of this festival itself. And then they were actually enjoying a strawberry granola yogurt.
That they purchased at the market?
For sure. And they are actually expecting to watch some of those performances afterwards.
Of the indie band?
Yeah, and for year-end plans, I asked them, and then they actually mentioned having meals with their family and watching movies, maybe Home Alone, and decorating a Christmas tree.
I see. And they're from Busan or from out of
From
the city?
Dongdaegu, Busan.
so not
yeah,
too far.
Dongdaegu district, not that far. Of course, a little far from Yeongdo area, but
Yes.
still, yeah.
I see. Who else were you able to bump into at the festival?
Yeah, as for the second interview, I actually got to interview Kim Dong-won Shimin from Yangsan, who they came all the way from Yangsan area. So they also were enjoying the Christmas spirit and atmosphere. And then I asked them how they got to know of this festival, and then they got to know this event through SNS.
Oh, I see.
And they just actually wanted to discover the festival, and they actually wanted to come and enjoy the moment. So they enjoy also a variety of food, and they actually installed a photo booth for visitors to come and take photos. So they actually did that, and then they also participated themselves making some kind of a cookies, and they also watched the performances. Yeah.
Sounds like such a lovely experience that they had.
Right.
And the food, you mentioned that they were enjoying the food. Is it very like international food, or is it just like Korean street food, or? Because if you think about Christmas market, it's very like European type of food, right?
Good question. They actually had like lasagna to like spaghetti to like pizza and tacos, burritos.
Oh, wow.
And
it's quite international.
Yeah.
It's
and
not like local Korean food at all.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I see.
Like, maybe I'm wrong, but I couldn't actually see any kind of a Korean dish there.
Oh, they try to make it authentic, like
For
real
sure.
European Christmas village. I see. So, did you meet anyone else at the village? Am I supposed to call it a village or a market?
It's the name of the
village market. Okay.
Yeah, it's a village market.
Yes.
So yeah, not just only for the Christmas village decoration itself, but they also held a flea market there too. So people to come and purchase things. So I actually got to see some of those candles all lined up, and peanut butter.
Oh, that they're like homemade peanut butter.
Right. Like something healthy.
Yeah.
And other like postcards as well. So yeah, I actually wanted to buy one for myself, but then I didn't have enough time because I was kind of like running around interviewing people. So as for last, I also met a lovely couple from Busan.
All right.
And who also came to spend some precious Christmas time. And I also got to found the Christmas event. I mean, they also got to found the Christmas event through online research. And as you know, probably same for both of us too. But then, especially, on every Christmas season, we seem to search like where to go and hang out.
What's the hottest places to go in Busan?
For sure.
So this event apparently showed up a lot on the internet.
Right. And well, I actually asked them how long they waited to enter. They actually waited like half an hour.
Oh, there was like a line that formed outside of the venue?
Yeah, there was a queue. There was a long queue. So I actually asked them, and then they actually waited for like half an hour to enter. And then they were still satisfied and happy because the whole place itself was pretty much well decorated.
Right.
And
is this the first time that they hosted such kind of event?
Yes, it was actually officially the first time. I don't know whether they will probably going to continue through the following years. But yeah, it was the first time. So I guess maybe that was the reason why so many people came over. Yeah. And the event promoter of the flea market, I guess they are pretty well known.
Oh,
yeah,
I see.
for the event itself. So I guess they already had a concrete fan base.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so I guess there were a lot of people like all queued up and but they still, I mean, even for me, even I actually went there to conduct an interview myself, but then I actually got to feel a lot of great, good
Christmas
vibes and Christmas vibes.
Did you end up staying there longer to enjoy the performances and eat their food, or just like I'm out?
I'm out because I mean, I actually wanted to stay a little longer, but it was like super crowded.
It was
and
packed.
Still many
what
people
were
all
What was the date
like
that you
queued.
went
on Christmas Day itself.
Oh, okay. So no wonder everyone was there.
Right.
on
So
Christmas
and
Day.
then I don't know. I actually went there for like a reason, like purpose,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So and then I kind of saw so many people like all waiting in line outside. So I'm like, oh, I should just head
Get out of here.
for them to actually jump in.
Yes,
So
yes.
yeah.
Because you were there for the interview. Thank you so much for bringing the latest about this amazing event called the Christmas Village Market. Unfortunately, I was not able to check it out this year, but hopefully they'll do it again next year.
Yeah, next
year.
year.
I did look at the photos and I was like, what? I missed out on all this. The event itself is over.
It is.
Right?
It was until 29th.
29th.
Right.
So
It was until
for
yesterday.
all of our listeners, let's hope for 2025 that this event will happen again.
Yeah,
Let's
so
check it out.
since even though it was the first time, they'll probably maybe plan it out for the following years too. So
Right.
for those of you, including yourself, Yurian, who missed, make sure to go and check it out next year if there is one.
Okay. Thank you, Jimmy, for all that you have prepared for us today.
Thank you so
And
much.
I will see you next time if I can.
Yeah, hopefully I get to see you next time too.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, in the second half of the hour, we have coming up on the mic where Busan, the people are wonderful. We have stories of Busan locals encountered on the streets of Busan. And then we also have Busan's Tale brought to us by our Haley. Which is a storytelling segment delving into various aspects of Busan where stories intertwine like a tale with no end. So everyone, please participate in our show. And again, another reminder for those of you who have just been tuning in, the topic of the day has been decided, which is because we are in a very tragic time today, we thought it'd be wonderful to hear any comforting words come in, and so I can read them out loud to help us all get through this difficult times. 오늘의 토픽은 아까는 말씀드렸지만 정해졌습니다. 희생자들과 유족들을 위해서 따뜻한 위로의 메시지를 전해주시면 되겠습니다. 지금은 아직 새로운 메시지가 안 보이지만 드리프먼키님께서 I wouldn't be, if I were them, I'm assuming I wouldn't be able to go to work for a long time. I really wish them well. Yes, I think it will take us all, especially for those directly involved in the accident, a long time, perhaps a few years for us all to really get through this difficult time. All right, I will see you in the second half at 5. Next song is 걱정 말아요 그대 by 이적.
그대여 아무 걱정하지 말아요. 우리 함께 노래합시다. 그대 아픈 기억들 모두 그대여 그대 가슴에 깊이 묻어버리고 지나간 것은 지나간 대로 그런 의미가 있죠. 떠난 이에게 노래하세요. 후회 없이 사랑했노란 말해요. 그대는 너무 힘든 일이 많았죠. 새로움을 잃어버렸죠. 그대 슬픈 얘기들 모두 그대여 그대 탓으로 훌훌 털어버리고 지나간 것은 지나간 대로 그런 의미가 있죠. 우리 다 함께 노래합시다. 후회 없이 꿈을 꿨단 말해요. 지나간 것은 지나간 대로 그런 의미가 있죠. 우리 다 함께 노래합시다. 후회 없이 꿈을 꿨단 말해요. 지나간 것은 지나간 대로 그런 의미가 있죠. 우리 다 함께 노래합시다. 후회 없이 꿈을 꿨단 말해요. 새로운 꿈을 꾸겠다 말해요.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time to read a little bit more text message that's been coming in as we are sharing with each other some words of comfort. 진리님께서 비행기 추락 참사 희생분들께 깊은 애도를 표합니다. 유가족분들께는 그 어떤 말로도 위로가 되지 않을 겁니다. 충분히 슬퍼하시고 기운 내시기 바랍니다. 네, 맞습니다. 말로는 사실 위로가 될 수는 없다는 걸 저도 공감을 하고요. 충분히 슬퍼한다는 것이 얼마나 중요한 시간일까가 정말 그 부분도 공감이 많이 갑니다. You have to really feel the emotion at this times like this in order to be able to move on. So it is a sad and tragic time. Let's be sad and then garner the strength to move on after that. We will take another song break. Coming up next is 가로수 그늘 아래 서면 by 이문세.
찬비 흩날린 가을 오면 아침 찬바람에 지우지 이렇게도 아름다운 세상 잊지 않으리 내가 사랑한 얘기 가로수 그날 민 그 향기 다른데 아름다운 세상
Your bridge to the world. BEFM 부산 영어방송.
부산의 축제 어디까지 즐겨보셨나요? 과거와 현재, 미래가 공존하는 항구도시 부산. 이곳 부산은 계절을 물들이는 다양한 축제로 늘 풍성합니다. 봄의 시작을 알리는 봄꽃 축제부터 부산의 여름을 만끽하는 바다축제, 전 세계 영화인들이 모이는 부산국제영화제와 새로운 시작의 해맞이 축제까지. 부산의 축제는 우리의 열정을 가득 담고 있습니다. 바쁜 일상은 잠시 뒤로 하고 특별한 시간을 선물 받는 바로 이곳 부산에서 우리의 삶은 축제가 됩니다. 축제로 하나 되는 부산, 여러분은 어떤 축제를 기다리시나요? 이 캠페인은 대선공익재단과 BFM 부산영어방송이 함께합니다.
부산 글로벌 도시재단 대표이사 전용호입니다. 부산은 대한민국의 굳건한 성장 동력으로서 물류, 금융, 영상, 관광, 문화, 디지털, 첨단 산업의 중심지인 글로벌 허브 도시로 나아가고 있습니다. 이를 위해 부산 글로벌 도시재단은 부산을 대표하는 도시 외교의 플랫폼을 지향합니다. 세계 평화도시 부산의 브랜드를 강화하는 부산 UN 위크와 부산 글로벌 도시 포럼, 유라시아 도시 외교단, 개발협력 포럼, 그리고 세계 시민축제는 부산의 소프트 파워의 상징으로 자리매김하고 있습니다. 부산 영어방송도 시민과 함께 영어하기 편한 도시, 세계와 경쟁하며 더불어 살아가는 부산을 만들어가겠습니다. 시민이 행복한 글로벌 허브 도시 부산, 부산 글로벌 도시재단이 함께합니다.
The weather is so nice today. I'm sure this won't be a big deal.
A 3-second long lapse in judgment can burn up an entire mountain, which will take 100 years to recover. We can protect these lush forests if you follow these guidelines. First, do not bring flammable materials to the mountains. Second, do not cook or camp in the mountains. Third, do not litter cigarette butts. Your small actions are the first step towards protecting the beautiful forest. This campaign is brought to you by BEFM 부산영어방송.
김밥가게 박 사장님도, 문구점 김 사장님도, 우리 부산의 경제를 움직이는 사람들. 우리 동네 작은 가게로 향하는 발걸음이 우리 부산의 경제를 키워가는 한 걸음입니다. 부산 방송광고 발전 협의회.
The time is now 5 o'clock.
Hi, what's your name and where are you from?
Hi, my name is Dave and I'm from Canada.
All right, Dave, and you've been living in Busan. Tell us a little bit about why you came to Busan and how long you've been there.
I came to Busan in 2006, so it's coming on 19 years now. And I was living in Japan for a little bit, in Taiwan, and I wasn't entirely happy in both those places. And one of my best friends was living here from university, so I decided to come and check it out, and I fell in love with it and decided to stay. And it's been 19 years now.
19 years. Okay. Can you compare Busan to the other places that you've lived? How would you say they're similar or how are they different?
It's very different than in Canada, for sure. being isolated. I love the ocean. That was the biggest thing for me, is being near the ocean, the mountains. I lived in Kaohsiung in Taiwan, and it was quite similar in that way, but a lot dirtier actually. So I really enjoyed coming to Busan, the beaches, the mountains, the food, and just the pace of life.
And you're a very social guy. You have a lot of friends in the city. Tell everybody about some of the activities you like to do, or some of the things you're a musician. Maybe talk a little bit about what kind of things you like to do to keep yourself entertained.
Yeah, so since I've been in Busan in 19 years, I've done lots of different kinds of things. I've always been playing music, which has been fun. I've hosted open mics and played with a lot of different people. It's been a lot of fun. I've also had a business with my friend, bringing bands to Korea and bringing to Busan, which was great. We did that for a few years, and it was a great experience. Learned a lot of things about Busan, music, and ourselves. It was amazing.
Okay, and tell everybody, what is an open mic, and maybe describe what kind of music's at the open mic, and maybe some of the different locations where people can check out an open mic.
Yeah, in Busan there's a couple of open mics still going, and there's one in Gyeongsang and one in PNU. There, you can come and play whatever you'd like. If you want to play guitar, sing, you just kind of go and kind of join in with whoever's playing, or play by yourself. So if you want to sing a song, you can always come out too and just ask for someone to play a song, or play it yourself, or ask around for whatever you want to do.
And what kind of music do you like to play? And are you a singer, or are you playing an instrument? Maybe to let us know about yours.
Yeah, I'm a guitarist and sing a little bit. I don't think I'm that good, but it's been fun, and I like learning as I play it. I met some amazing people through it. I like to play kind of alternative, folk, rock kind of music, mostly acoustic. And I think it's a great opportunity to meet people in Busan. I've met many Korean and foreigner friends, and I think it's a good interaction between everyone in the music scene.
And you've been in Busan, you said, for 19 years?
That's right.
Okay, tell us, how has Busan changed since you first came? What is different from 19 years ago?
Busan has changed a lot since I got here. I mean, number one, it's become a much more international city. The amount of travelers that are coming through now. There was no guest house when I first moved here, and now there's tons. And the amount of international travelers that are coming through, the influence of foreign food and culture has been compounded from when I first got here. Also, just the buildings, it's just constantly changing. The whole landscape has changed constantly, with big high-rises that go up, other neighborhoods being taken down, and it's almost unrecognizable. I had a friend visit last summer who hadn't been here in 15 years, and he was just shocked at looking at the city and how the landscape of it has changed completely.
And do you have any favorite areas in Busan, like that you like to live or like to hang out? What would you say? What are the places you've lived, or where do you like to hang out the most?
I really like Gwangali, of course. The beach is there. It's a beautiful place to be. You got the ocean. There's great cafes and food. I love Gyeongsang, the university area. The 3 universities are there. There's lots of cheap food, interesting people, and it's a great place. I also love Daejeongdae. It's an amazing place. Great to walk around. Beautiful landscape, and the water's incredible out there.
And you're also a big traveler. During your vacation time, you travel to a lot of places from Busan. Tell us, what are your favorite places to go that are maybe easy travel destinations to get to from Busan?
Well, since I lived in Taiwan, I always think Taiwan's a great choice. I really love the people, the culture in Taiwan. I think it's great food, really friendly, open people. I think the culture is amazing there. Night markets are one of my favorite things to go there. So Taiwan is always a great choice for me, I think. And of course, I always think Bangkok and Thailand is a great place for beaches and swimming. I love scuba diving, so it's a great country to go. Great food, great people, and yeah, there's so many places to go in Southeast Asia and East Asia. Living in Busan, I've been lucky to live here and have that opportunity.
All right. Well, it's almost the new year, and I wanted to ask you, do you have any maybe resolutions or goals that you want to achieve? Maybe it could be related to living in Busan, or it could just be your own personal things.
Yeah, in the new year, I'm trying to get a little healthier. I'm hoping to get back and get into more of a routine of getting up, being healthier with my lifestyle, and going for more hikes and getting outside and doing some running. Kind of getting involved in more activity groups that are going around in Busan for activities, and because I haven't really been doing that for a while. So I hope that this new year can bring that, and I can be a little more active.
All right. Well, I hope that this year gives you all that you've wanted. And what advice would you give, last question, what advice would you give to people if they're maybe new in the city and they want to get comfortable and be an active member in society like you?
I think the most important thing is just getting out there and getting involved in different events that are happening. There's fundraisers for different events and for different charities. There's live music happening all the time. There's language exchanges. There's lots happening in the city that you can easily join to kind of meet people and get involved in the community.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Dave, and have a wonderful day and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Tegan, for that wonderful interview with Dave, who's been in Busan for 19 years. That's actually longer than how long I've been here, so he's probably a better expert than me in terms of how Busan has changed throughout all this years. He mentioned how the reason why he chose to stay for so long in Busan was because he loved the ocean and the mountain, which is, we also have the nature and we also have the city bustling life, which makes Busan such an attractive city for a lot of people. So choosing to stay here for so long, which has been the case for me as well. He also talked about open mic. It's an event that I've actually never been to, but made me quite curious as I was listening to the interview. So basically, it's like an event where you can just go if you have a talent for performing. If it's an instrument or if it's your voice of singing, you can go and play yourself or like play together with someone else. So that's an event that sounds really, really interesting. I'm not a performer, but I would love to check out other people perform on stage. I would probably bring along a good friend of mine who's a good singer to such events. All right, so for those of you tuning in to the program right now, today's topic has been decided. It is send us some words of comfort in tragic times like this, so we can read those messages out loud and be comforting to each other. 그래서 오늘 토픽이 정해졌습니다. 이제 추모 메시지를 저에게 보내주시면 저희가 같이 읽으면서 이렇게 시간을 보내보는 걸로 오늘 정했고요. 아까 진리님께서 말씀을 해주셨는데 그 유가족분들께는 그 어떤 말로도 위로가 되지 않을 겁니다. 충분히 슬퍼하시고 기운 내시기 바랍니다. So Jinli has said, no words of comfort will be enough to get any of us through this difficult time. So just take enough time to mourn in this very hard times, and we shouldn't rush ourselves to forget or go on with our lives, because this is something, an event that's unfathomably tragic. It's going to take a lot of time for us to really digest what's happening and really truly be sad about it. So I think no one should be rushed. No one should try to put back what's had happened. Just try to be in the moment, be sad, and then just really comfort each other is probably the best way to go about this. 오늘 메시지 보내주실 분들께서는 한국어나 영어로 편하게 보내주시면 되고요. 100원으로 이제 문자를 보내주시면 되고 샵 9050으로 보내주시면 되고 카카오톡 친구 추가해 주셔도 됩니다. BFM 앱으로 메시지를 보내주셔도 되고요. 부산영어방송 채널 너튜브 라이브 스트리밍으로 이제 채팅으로 참여를 또 해주셔도 됩니다. Alright, we will take a song break at this time. The coming up next is Blue Eyes Blue by Eric Clapton.
Thought that you'd be loving me. I thought you were the one who'd stay forever. But now forever's come and gone, and I'm still here alone. 'Cause you were only playing, you were only playing with my heart. I was never waiting, I was never waiting for the tears to start. It was you who put the clouds around me. It was you who was you. It was you who put those clouds around me. It was you who made the tears fall down. Only you who broke my heart in pieces. It was you who made my blue eyes blue. I never should have trusted. Never should have trusted. Never should have trusted. Never should have trusted.
Welcome back, everyone. We are still continuing to receive message of comfort to help each of us get through this very tragic time. And as we continue to receive these messages, I also would like to take some time to share with you guys the latest updates in terms of the Jeju airplane crash. So we can begin with this one where the military has said they have deployed about 500 service members to assist with recovery efforts in the Jeju airplane crash. Some 340 personnel, along with rescue equipment such as fire trucks and ambulances, were being sent to the Muan International Airport in Muan County. Earlier today, the ministry spokesperson Jeon Ha-gyu said that in cooperation with the National Fire Agency, the military provided needed equipment and supplies to the site. Also, the Transportation Safety Authorities of the United States says they plan to help their Korean counterparts with a probe into the cause of the deadly Jeju airplane crash. As we all know, we do not know the exact cause of the airplane crash. Well, there were sites of a bird crash being cited as one of the causes. That's not the definite cause at this point. So the U.S. Transportation Safety Authorities are going into this case to help us figure out what the cause of the deadly crash was. So in an email statement sent to the Yonhap News Agency, the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration, or the FAA, said it has formed a team with the National Transportation Safety Board, the NTSB, to support the Korean authorities with the investigation. Donald Evans, who's a communications official at the FAA, said that the NTSB is leading a team of U.S. investigators that includes the FAA and Boeing to assist the Republic of Korea's Aviation and Railway Accident Investigation Board. The Korean government also confirmed the participation of the U.S. authorities. And, in relation to the accident investigation, the U.S. NTSB will continue to participate, as well as we will be seeing the participation of Boeing and the engine manufacturer CFM International there. So we are seeing a lot more cooperation from abroad as well. I haven't been seeing any more new messages coming in. So we are skipping the quiz section today because it is a very difficult time. So if our listeners, if you guys could send in some messages of comfort, I would love to read them out loud and share them with our listeners. And let's take another song break. The next song coming up is Never Ending Story by 부활, requested by 베니님.
손 닿을 수 없는 저기 어딘가 오늘도 넌 없지만 너와 머물던 작은 의자 위엔 같은 모습에 바람이 지나네 너는 떠나면 마치 날 떠나가듯이 멀리 손을 흔들며 언젠간 추억에 남겨져갈 거라고
Welcome back, everyone. During this time, we continue to share messages of comfort that you guys have been sending us to the station and through our NotTube channel. I have not been seeing anyone. I have seen one coming in from Jin Lim earlier in the hour, but I have not seen any new ones come in. So please, everyone, try to send in your messages. So 오늘의 토픽 은 희생자들과 유가족분들을 위한 메시지를 보내주시면 됩니다. 그걸 같이 읽으면서 저희 힘든 시간을 같이 견뎌내보는 그런 시간을 갖고 있고요. And also, I would like to bring you guys up the latest updates in regards to the deadly airplane crash from yesterday. So the investigators said that the Jeju Air flight was actually initially cleared to land about 8:54 a.m. yesterday, but they had received a bird strike warning from the control tower 3 minutes later. So after that, just 2 minutes after the warning was issued, the pilot of the Jeju airline had reportedly issued a Mayday distress call mentioning a bird strike. The ministry said the Boeing 737-800 then turned around near the runway's midpoint and approached in the direction of the opposite runway. The plane was cleared to land on runway number 19, and this was approximately about at 9:01 a.m. It had entered the runway a minute later, but it veered off course and collided with the airport's wall at 9:03 a.m. after touching down at the 1/3 point along the runway. So these have been the latest details that we've been finding out about the airplane crash. And also on the second day since the tragic accident, the Transport Ministry has confirmed the identities of 146 of the 179 people who died in the Jeju airplane crash at Muan International Airport. So during a briefing held today in Muan County for the families of the victims, the ministry said 146 of the victims have been identified. An official said families of the victims will be contacted once the identification and medical examinations by investigative agencies such as the prosecution and police are completed. Also, an official from the Jeonnam Provincial Police told reporters at a separate briefing held at the Muan International Airport earlier today that they requested the National Forensic Service to help in the DNA identification for the remaining victims and that they expect the results as early as tomorrow. Now, at the Muan International Airport, as we're speaking right now, cleanup and recovery work continues for a second day while investigators are looking into the cause of the Jeju airplane crash. Now, we have talked about this earlier in the show with Hong Dang-dang, but just to recap on what's been going on, the government has declared the period until January 4th of next year as a national mourning period. And the city of Busan has set up a joint incense station in the first floor lobby of Busan City Hall, starting at 5:30 today. So that's about 5 minutes from now on. If your listeners are interested in taking a visit to the Busan City Hall, there will be a joint incense station for the national mourning. The city also announced that it has set up the group memorial altar so that citizens can express their condolences for the accident victims. And this will also be open until 10 p.m. on January 4th next month. The city also explained that it has canceled the civic bell ringing event that was scheduled to take place at Yongdusan Park in Busan from tomorrow night until dawn on New Year's Day. Also, Busan's Haeundae and Suyong districts have also canceled their sunset event ceremony that they had planned earlier. All right, it's time now to take another song break. Coming up is 아직 거기 살아 by Day 6.
난 아직까지도 우리의 미래를 놓지 못했어. 같이 늙어가자는 희망 찾던 말은 네 미소와 사라졌어. 무슨 말을 꺼낼까? 어떻게 널 잡을까? 수많은 고민
Welcome back, everyone. We have been taking time to read some messages of comfort from our listeners, and we did have one coming in from 다나 M님. 무한공항 참사 희생자분들께 조의를 표합니다. 2024년이 너무 끝까지 힘드네요. 유가족분들께서는 정말 어떻게 표현할 수 없을 정도로 힘드시겠지만 슬픔을 나누면 반이 된다고 함께 슬퍼하고 기도하겠습니다. 네, 보통 2025년 새해를 맞이하면서 보통 자기에 대해서 기도를 하거나 자기 가족분을 위해서 기도를 하는 시간을 갖게 될 텐데 저도 2025년을 맞이하면서 유가족분들을 위해서 최대한 이 시간이 고통스럽지 않도록 기도를 하겠습니다. 네, 메시지 보내주셔서 감사하고요. Coming up next is Busan's Tale, 꼬.꼬.부 with Haley.
Tune in to For Your Busan, featuring local news, events, and interviews with people in the community. Airing from 4:05 to 6 p.m.
Welcome to Busan Tales, where Haley dives deep into the archives of Busan and brings hidden stories we did not know about our city. Hello, Haley.
Hello. It's good to see you.
It is good to
given
see you.
Everything, all
Yes.
the circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So yeah, I guess welcome to 꼬.꼬.부.
Yes.
So for the Lians, if you are just joining us for the first time, this is Busan Tales, 꼬리에 꼬리를 무는 Busan. So as you know, I'm an incessant talker.
Yes.
We talk all the time outside the studio.
All the time.
So our producer has given me the mic to incessantly, endlessly talk about Busan.
Okay.
So there are some darks, there are some lights, there are some grays in between. So we usually pick a topic, location, history, and event, and talk about, the history behind it, some tales behind it, and dive into the little nooks and crannies.
Interesting.
So you're a Busan native.
I am, technically.
Technically. But I know you've spent some time away.
Abroad. Mm-hmm.
So how do you, as a Busan native, how did you ring in the new year? Are you
I haven't really made an event out of it. Just watch the 일출 is the only.
You actually
thing that
watched
I've
the
done.
sunrise?
To be honest, I haven't for the past 10 years. But I was planning on doing so this year because I've become kind of a morning bird.
You're active. Yeah, you're becoming a morning person.
Yes.
Right. So a lot of people, it's a very unique tradition to Korea because usually in, the states where we've spent time, it's kind of the party night is the night before and the following morning is you stay late in bed.
Right.
So we have different traditions and celebrations of ringing in the new year. The term, the ball drop, watching the ball drop, it comes from New York City's Times Square.
Yes.
They're usually fireworks, celebrations. And in South Korea, though, at the stroke of midnight, we don't set off the fireworks, but we toll or ring a bell.
That's right. The huge bell.
The huge
Seoul
bell, yes.
보신각, right?
보신각, right. But then in Busan, there is also a bell that gets tolled, that gets rung, and it's called the Citizens Bell right under Busan Tower.
Oh, I see.
So here's the thing, though. It is usually where the bell is struck to ring in the new year. This year, it has been canceled on account of the Jeju Air tragedy. But still, it is good to know where and what this is all about and what even the tradition of tolling the bell is supposed to mean, because even if we don't ring it in physically, the new year will still come and hopefully it can kind of start on a new slate, because this year hasn't been a good one when it comes to larger stroke events.
And Yeongdusan isn't going anywhere. It's
not.
Still part of Busan, and it's just nice to know some historical background about it.
That's right.
So can you first tell us, for our non-Korean speaking listener, where the word Yeongdusan, that word comes from?
Right. So as with a lot of the Korean names, it has a Chinese or Sino-Chinese character, meaning Hansa, right? Although this is interesting, it's Yongyong. So it's dragon, right? It means dragon. And 머리 too. So it's literally the dragon's head mountain. Because, I'm going to do this the next time I go there. Apparently, supposedly, and it's kind of a hill. It's less of a mountain. It's more of a hill.
It's so difficult to call it a mountain.
Right. But, and then there's an escalator that takes you almost to
there
there
one now?
is one now.
Because used to be the stairs.
Right. It's on the other side. It's on the Nampo-dong side. It's the escalator. But if you take a really close look, it is shaped like the head of a dragon.
Wow.
Supposedly.
I will check it out next time I go.
Right.
To see the shape.
Right. And we've all heard of this place, but not all of us know the history. And the whole point of the segment is the more you know, the more attached you become to that location. And the next time you go, it'll hit different.
And the next time I go, I can 잘난 척해 to my
Exactly. That is the whole point.
I know what the word 용두산 comes
right,
from.
And do you? And do you know the history?
Yes.
So take notes. So we have 용두산. That's like a mountain / hill. It's always been there, but how Busan City has used it, or how the people of Busan, those living here, have used that location, it's changed. It's varied a lot throughout the years.
Okay.
So first, we're going to go way, way back in time to the Joseon Dynasty.
Right.
So this was home to Yongdusan Shrine. And take note that I didn't say Yongdusan Temple, not 절 in the Korean Buddhist tradition, but shrine in the,
like the Japanese
exactly,
shrine.
It's a Japanese tradition. But then we have in contemporary history, whenever we hear the word shrine, we kind of get this gut reaction of, ugh. Okay, so who went worshiping there this time? Right. Interestingly, this is one exception.
Okay.
Because this particular Japanese shrine wasn't actually built during the occupation.
It was not.
It was not.
Good to hear.
Right, I know, right? But during, in the middle of Joseon Dynasty in 1678, which was the fourth year of King Sukjong's reign. So it was built, it's odd to say this, but it was built legitimately.
Right.
AKA without cultural exploitation.
Yes.
By a trading company. Because back then there was still a lot of business and trading being done between Joseon and Japan. So to pray for the ships to sail safely between the two countries. Also, there were some Japanese citizens living in Busan. And of course, this being the old downtown area, they were living around there. So they would go there to pray and to practice their own religion. And this was hundreds of years before Japan invaded and occupied the country.
So it goes way back in history and has nothing to do with Japan's cultural exploitation, which is good to hear. So, but then again, Japan did invade Korea later on. So I'm assuming it was used as a way to culturally assimilate Koreans. Perhaps?
Right. So unfortunately, that does happen and we cannot look past that. So during the 일제강점기, the occupation period, Japan did a lot of things. So banning Koreans from using the Korean language, changing Koreans' names to Japanese names, and also religion is a huge part of anyone's culture, to force Koreans to visit the shrine and pray there and pay respect and worship there.
I see.
And as I said, a lot of Japanese people did live around this area. So it was the old downtown. And interestingly, after Japan was defeated in the Second World War, after the bombings, this is where Yongdusan was where the people of Japan gathered to meet before they all boarded ships to basically get out, to skip town, get out of here before they could, they would see any retaliation by the people of Joseon.
Oh, I see.
Right. So
people,
So so that kind of goes to show how much of a landmark it was back then. Right. Because,
this hill that we just thought was good for view.
Right. It was the meeting place. Because remember, you can kind of tell where the center of a city is by where people say to let's meet. Like if you and I are meeting in Seomyeon, we know that one department store that we would meet in front of. And then in Haeundae, it would be like, well, not by the beach, but maybe by the subway station. So those landmarks, the meeting place, it was Yongdusan back then.
Oh, for the Japanese people trying to get out of
trying to
return
Korea,
to their homeland.
Because everyone knows where it is, and it's big enough where it is obvious.
And it's near the port.
So now that entire neighborhood is kind of empty, at least of the occupiers. So what do you do with the shrine? Because at that point, it's an eyesore.
Right.
Not just
For us
aesthetically,
Koreans.
but for Koreans,
Yes.
culturally, symbolically. Well, there were a few years, a handful of years after the liberation, but someone kind of took care of the problem. A seminary student, 신학생, so someone trying to be a priest, 민영석, set fire to it. Yeah, not a very holy thing to do, but but you know, back then a lot of religious groups did have part in independence movements. So the shrine was set ablaze on November 11th, 1948.
I see. But this wasn't the only fire that happened at the Yongdusan area, right?
Right. So that particular fire of the shrine, by the way, we don't condone arson,
course.
setting fire to anything.
For any reason.
Right. But then people back then, keep in mind, this is year 1948, locals felt that that particular building got what it deserved because a lot of them were forced to go there and worship.
Right.
However, we're going to fast forward a few more years during the Korean War. As you know, Busan, thus the provincial capital, but also the refugee capital.
Yes.
So any nook and cranny, any really corner of the hills and mountains, people found space. They built houses. And these were...
They built which one?
They built houses.
Okay.
Their homes, right? And they were called panjajip. So panja, like these really thin, like sheet metal or even cardboard.
Yes.
So not very...
Sturdy.
Exactly. Not very sturdy. Not very fire retardant either. So...
Oh, no.
I know, you know where I'm going with this.
No.
In December of 1954,
Yes.
there was a huge fire in the shanty towns in the Panjachon area. And because not were they just really thin and small, but they're all close together.
Right.
So
we don't know the cause of the fire.
We
there was
don't.
just a fire.
Exactly. We just
Okay.
don't know because, I mean, there are so many people living there
Right.
and, you know. So the fire spread really quickly across all those homes that were close together. The entire neighborhood was apparently burned down.
Oh, that is
So this is so unfortunate because these are people who literally have nothing. And,
Right.
and this was the little homes were all they had. And not only that, though, there was another major historical loss that happened with this fire. All right, so we all know kind of what major kings of Joseon look like. I mean, for one, 세종대왕.
Right,
Okay,
right.
If you have cash, take
Yes.
it out. But you know, that's not actually what he looked like. Because, I mean, all the kings of Joseon was really all about record taking. They took all these meticulous records and they had portraits, official portraits of every single king. But almost all of them, you know, didn't make it.
Right.
And this is why.
Oh, because
this is why.
their portraits burnt down?
Right. And you might be wondering, what is
In Busan?
that? What are those portraits doing in Busan?
Right. All of them.
All of them.
Just in Busan, in the Yongdusan.
Well, it was the
area?
provincial capital.
Right.
Right. So when the Lee Seung-man government fled Seoul at the very beginning of the war, they took major documents and historical records, including those portraits, which back to history lessons, they were called 어진 back then. And because, well, this is where the capital was, they had a storage facility near Yongdusan, near these areas.
판자촌.
Right. And then when the fire happened, that burned out all the portraits as well.
Oh, no. That's something so new that I've never known before.
Right. Me neither.
That we had actually lost the portraits.
Because
so what's
of
on
this.
the Korean money is
It's a
out of imagination.
It's kind of out of imagination. We have like
mind-blowing.
Right. We have a handful of kings whose portraits do remain, and
so based on that,
right. And 조선왕조
And some-
왕조실록, they take
there's
really
some
careful
details.
records
Right,
about what they look like. But yeah.
But there once was a time when all those portraits
Right.
had existed.
Exactly.
And that existed
But-
here in Busan. This park is apparently filled with history.
Right. It was filled with history. It
Yes.
still is. So if you go around that park, you'll see a lot of those like stone monuments, like kind of piseok-looking monuments
Yes.
that commemorate various events and individuals and the values of the times that they were erected. So the name itself kind of has a bit of history. Before it was Yongdusan Park. And then for a while in the 50s and the 60s, it was called Unam Gongwon.
Unam-공원.
Right, and like what or who is Unam? Well, Unam was the nom de plume of then President Lee Seung-man.
Oh, I
So
see.
this was kind of how a symbol of how the park's name was served. It served to really play up this anti-communist ideology in the post-Korean War era by highlighting this first president and really an effort to kind of glorify the first president.
I see.
And then in the 70s, this is the period of, vast economic growth, the miracle, the so-called miracle of the Han River. And in Busan, of course, there was a bit of miracle of Nakdong River going on as well. In the time of this industrial growth, you have to build things, right? You have to build things and you have to build them high using concrete.
Yes.
So here comes Busan Tower.
Oh,
So this
dates
is
all the way
when
back to
it was, when it was built. And then we're going to go back to Busan Tower, but to kind of walk you through those footsteps of history
Right.
at Yongsan Park. There are also monuments that would come later in the 80s and 90s with the democratization efforts.
Okay.
So there's a monument that commemorates 4.19, the April 19th revolution. The revolution took place in the 60s to bring down the autocratic Lee Seung-man regime.
Right.
But it was built later on. Also, another figure, Baeksan An-hije, who's an independence fighter. He is what we would consider kind of a chaebol back in the later Joseon or to Japanese occupation period. But he actually used his vast wealth to fund the independence fighters. So there's a monument dedicated to him.
All right. So there's a couple of monuments on the Yeongdusan area, but then the biggest one is, as you mentioned earlier, is the Busan Tower.
Right, the biggest and the tallest tower, the tallest one. So what did you call it though? Because at first it was
Tower.
Busan Tower. I heard it as like Yongdusan Tower.
Oh yeah, I think I called it Yeongdusan Tower.
Right?
Yeah, we don't call it the Busan Tower, do we?
Right, because I think Busan Tower, the official name is Busan Tower.
Oh, is it?
But once again, because Yongdusan 공원 is so famous,
Right.
we call it Yongdusan Tower.
But that's not its technical
It's
name.
not its technical name. And it's, so
용두산에
it's
있는 부산 타워입니까?
there, 그렇습니다.
그렇군요.
Because, it was Namsan Tower, but the technical name is N Seoul Tower.
Oh, right.
But no one really calls it that.
Right.
So yeah, it's interesting how
we keep on changing it
right.
to suit us.
Official names
Right.
don't really stick, but people will call it by the location. If you are coming to Busan, because that was so confusing. When I first got to Busan and I was trying to, check off all the monuments and like all the tourist attractions,
Right.
I'm like, so am I like going to Yongdusan Tower or Busan Tower?
Or is it the same?
Yeah. And then someone was like, oh, they're the same thing. I'm
I
like, okay.
see.
So here I am. I'm that someone telling you, soon-to-be visitors, Busan Tower and Yongdusan Tower, the
It's
same
the
thing.
same thing, yes.
Right. So once again, as I said, during the 70s, it was the symbol of Busan's modernization and industrialization. And it is still one of the major landmarks.
Yes.
So the tower itself, in the year 2024, right, it is
embarrassing to call it a tower. Almost.
Right.
But it is still a historical
Absolutely.
piece.
It's 120 meters.
Yes.
So when it was built in 1973, it was the tallest observation tower in East Asia. So it was quite a feat.
So it was a landmark back in those times.
Major landmark. And it would
Yes.
actually keep that title for 2 more years until Namsan Tower went up in Seoul.
Also, we beat our record again.
Yeah.
In
So
all of
this
Eastern
was
Asia.
This was the first observation tower, major observation tower, even before Seoul, and then Namsan Tower and Seoul Tower would beat it.
Right.
But why was it built? Well, it was to commemorate the National Sports Festival, 전국체전, and the shape of it is shaped like a lighthouse because we're a port city. We do love a bit of symbolism. However, if you look at that observation deck, there's an octagon, and that's modeled after another adjacent landmark, 다보탑. We do go to Gyeongju for that. So
Yes.
a bit of like a breath of Silla dynasty there as well. And then back in 2012, so not too long ago, they really honed in on the symbolism aspect by installing a literal actual lighthouse on the top of the tower.
I see.
So if you look at like the needle, like the pointy part of the tower,
Right.
it is an actual lighthouse, which makes it the tallest lighthouse in South Korea because it
Okay.
is sitting on top of 120 meters.
Right.
And also the only lighthouse for tourist purposes.
So we can actually go to the top of the tower to the lighthouse?
I don't know if you can go to the top of the tower into the lighthouse, but if you go to the top, you can see the lighthouse.
Lighthouse, okay.
Right.
But apparently there was kind of like an attempt to get rid of this tower.
Right, and you might be wondering, well, why would you do that? It's such a symbol.
It's such a historical piece.
Exactly. But maybe, kind of what you said, 120 meters is it a really tower?
Yes.
With modern technology, can't we make it higher?
Right.
And that was the thought in the late 90s to early 2000s. For another sporting event, it's so interesting that this tower has such close relationships to sports because it was built for 전국체전. And then Busan was trying to revamp the city for the Asian Games of 2002. So it was another attempt to modernize this landmark and the park. Back then, the goal was to turn it into this cultural park with like an art museum and then also rebuild a tower to make it 200 meters.
Oh,
however,
so 120 to 200.
Right, which is
so
quite
a bit
tall.
of
an upgrade.
Yes.
But it was scrapped due to practical reasons, by which I mean money.
Yes.
But also at the same time, the local people really rejected the idea of tearing down this major landmark.
Oh, I see. It does have a very deep historical meaning to it, so I could understand the rejection. And finally, take us to the Citizens' Bell, which usually ring in the new year.
Right.
Although not this year.
Not this year. However, we will come back to it hopefully next year. This is one of the newer installments of the park built in 1996. Quite big, 3.83 meters tall, 2.3 meters wide, weighs 25 ton. And if you do go there, even if not for the bell tolling, but really look at what's engraved on the bell because we do continue with Busan symbolism. So there are 12 camellia flowers, 동백꽃, waves crashing against the Oryukdo Islands and seagulls. And what makes it really meaningful is that it was funded with donations from the people of Busan, a little over 100,000. And back then they gave 1.2 billion won.
I see.
So, but let's go back to the symbolism of that bell tolling. Traditionally, you ring the bell or toll the bell, strike it 33 times. That's in the Buddhist tradition. And it wishes for peace and well-being of the year. So we call it 제야의 종 because 제야 means getting rid of darkness. Darkness will disappear.
Did not know that.
Right. So here's hoping that even if we don't toll the bells 33 times, with the new year, with the new sun that maybe you will be waking up early to see, it will kind of wash away and shine light onto the darkness that we are currently going through.
Yes. Oh, thank you for such warm message today, even though we are not doing what we typically do all the time of the end of the year, but we can still hope for a better
It's the heart, it's the thought that counts, right?
It's the mindset, right? Thank you so much for bringing all these interesting stories about Yongsan Park. So next time I go visit with my family, I can be like, do you know what Yongdusan means?
How can you not?
It was a historical meaning. There was a Japanese shrine. It was so interesting.
Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you. See you next time.
Yep, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. It is time now to wrap up today's show. Thank you for all of those who have been sending in the lovely and warm messages during this difficult times. This show for your Busan was produced by Jang Hyun-jun, written by Hong Kyung-hwa, and hosted by me, Yuri-an. The last song of the day is Fix You by Coldplay.
When you get what you want, but not what you need. When you feel so tired, but you can't sleep. Stuck in reverse. And the tears come streaming down your face. When you lose something you can't replace. When you love someone but it goes to waste. Could it be worse? Lights will guide you home and ignite If you never try, you'll never know just what you were.